Hey guys, Nikki here. I know I haven't made a video in a while, and this one isn't about what I'm doing down here, so you guys are just gonna get to watch me put Pokemon cards in the book while I talk to you. Okay, so these are all, this video is mainly about my feelings and how I feel about things. Definitely inspired by someone, but they're not really a YouTuber, so it's a personal person in my life. So, it's definitely something good to talk about, I think, because we get so caught up in day-to-day lives that we forget to sometimes just sit down and look at how we're feeling and actually feel. I know that sounds stupid and crazy, but I like that saying. I like that verbiage, I guess you would call it. Is that what's called, verbiage? I like the idea of just sitting down and feeling what I'm feeling, you know? It doesn't always have to be great, and that's what I really like to get across to people, is that what you're feeling doesn't always need to be perfect or, you know, a good thing. It's really kind of stupid that people think that we have to be happy all the time, and that it's taboo for people to be sad. When it's not. It's truthfully not. Just feel. I really like that saying. Well, I guess that's not really a saying, but I really like that thought process. Just feel. Just feel what you're feeling. You know, talk about it with somebody if it makes you feel better. But just feel. Don't be afraid to just feel. That is the worst thing we can do as humans, is be terrified of feeling and be scared of feeling. And that's not okay. It is not okay by any means. It's just not okay. And I really want to emphasize that. I'm going to say it again. It's not okay. Because media has made it taboo to feel, basically. And that's dumb. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And, it's just not. It's dumb. To me. To me, it's dumb. Because why am I going to hide how I'm feeling? Why am I going to sit around and be sorry for feeling the way that I do? That's dumb. It's very important to just feel. Just feel how you're feeling and get over it. And I say that lovingly, because that's really what we have to do, though. Like, it's okay to feel, and it's okay to be down on yourself, and it's okay to be upset and hurt. But in reality, we feel, we fall to the bottom of the totem pole, and we start climbing back up. Because once you're down there, there's only one way, and that's up. But you can't go down any farther. So, that's just kind of how I feel about things on that aspect. I really don't, I don't know. really feel like it is over socialized and over talked about, even. Depression is taboo, and anxiety is taboo, and everything mentally is taboo, and that's not okay. That is not by any means okay. Because with my area of what I'm majoring in college, I'm going to be taking people into my office. I want to be a counselor. So I'm going to be taking these people into my office and telling them that it's okay to feel, and that it's okay for them to not be happy and not be okay. And they're going to go out, and society is going to tell them that something's wrong with them, and society is going to tell them that they're broken. They're not broken. No one is broken. I hope that nobody ever has to feel like they're broken, or that nobody ever does feel broken, because you're not broken. You're not broken. And I can emphasize that, and emphasize that, and emphasize that until I'm blue in the face, but you are the one that has to believe it. You're not broken. You're perfect the way that you are, and I say perfect, and then everybody's gonna eat me alive in the comments, being like, nobody's perfect, nobody's perfect. You are perfect the way that you are. You, as long as you're being the best you that you can be, you're perfect. You're perfect. And as far as I'm concerned, that's all that matters. Because who's going to be you if it's not you? And you're like, what? Who's going to be you if it's not you? Think about that. Think about it in a sense that you are the only you that there is. And this might confuse you, and I'm really hoping that it's not confusing you. Listen to what I'm saying. There will never be another you. Ever. Even if you have a twin, they're different than you. In some way, shape, form, or fashion, there's something about you that's different. Even identical twins, there's something about you that's different. Whether it's even just the personality. Your children, different than you. They came from you, but they're different than you. I'm sorry that this video doesn't feel personal, but I'm really trying to make it unpersonal so that, or impersonal, I guess would be the correct term, so that, it's not awkward for anybody. But, I just really can emphasize that all day long. You're not broken as long as you're being the best you that you can be. Now, I do not believe in pretending to be something that I'm not. I've never been that way. I have never wanted to be something that I'm not. Okay? I have never tried to be something that I'm not. Let's put it that way. Because I feel like everybody wants to be somebody else at some point. And if not, I'm so glad that you're happy with who you are. But at one point, I wasn't. At one point, I wanted to be someone else. I didn't want to be me anymore. Being me was too hard. But I didn't try to pretend like I was somebody else. I didn't dress differently. I didn't do anything differently. I was just myself. And today, I just was thinking that there were a couple of fights at the place that I work I work at a junior high, so between some junior high kids. And in all honesty, it was a girl fight, and I believe what they were arguing about was somebody looking at them badly. The other one looked at me darkly. Okay? Like, I really just have a hard time with that. I have a hard time denoting and being okay with someone looking me square in the face and say, well, I was fighting her because she looked at me funny. First of all, you're in junior high. Second of all, when you get out into the real world, none of what is happening right now in your life is going to matter. You're going to grow up, you're going to get married, you're going to have kids, and you're going to be the best you that you can be. You just are. You're going to be the best you that you can be. And no matter what your mental issue is, no matter how sad you are, no matter how depressed you are, no matter how anxious you are, you're going to be the best you that you can be. It's so worth it, guys. I promise you. It is so worth it. And if your depression is so bad that you need help, go get help. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you have a problem. And I wouldn't even call it a problem. It's an issue that most humans have to deal with at some point or another. Some are just worse than others. And I stopped doing this to emphasize that because I honestly, it's an amazing world we live in, even with all of the crappy stuff that is going on elsewhere. In our worlds, in our personal worlds, we can make it great. We can make it fantastic. It's a beautiful thing, it really is. Life is the greatest thing we'll ever possess. And I just really wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about that because it was really weighing on my heart. I've been going through a sad time, and I just kind of wanted to lighten things up a little bit. I wanted to lighten the mood, so to speak. And so I started doing this because that's what makes me happy. And I've had these cards for a while, and I needed to put them in this book. And I was feeling sad, so I started doing what makes me happy. Also, I was watching YouTube videos. That's another thing, too, that I want to emphasize. I'm emphasizing a lot of things in this video. Sorry, guys. But I want to emphasize that you do what makes you happy. Do not do what makes other people happy. Let me rephrase that. You can try to make other people happy, and you can make other people happy, and you can be the best person that you can be. But at the end of the day, you do what makes you happy. If you're 27 years old and you feel like collecting Barbie dolls, or you feel like collecting Shopkins, or you feel like collecting Pokemon cards, or you feel like making YouTube videos, or you feel like writing, or you feel like dancing around in a clown costume, probably with the recent clown issues, I would do that at your house. But do you. Do you. Be who you are. And I'm gonna sneeze. But, hang on. Okay, I cut it off for that, because I didn't think you guys wanted to hear me sneeze. But, please, just be who you are. Be who you are. There's no one better than you. There's no you better than you. And it doesn't matter what makes you happy. It doesn't matter what you're going through in life, as long as you're doing what's best for you. And as long as you're happy, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter who you're dating. It doesn't matter who your friends are. It doesn't matter if you're alone. It doesn't matter if you are the best looking. It doesn't matter if you have the best clothes. None of that matters. None of it. As long as you're happy within yourself. The rest of that is just icing on the cake, guys. Life is a beautiful thing. So feel when you're feeling. Feel what you're feeling, sorry. Feel what you're feeling and when you're feeling it. There we go, we can add to that. So, say if you're feeling sad, feel sad right then. Right when you feel it. Feel it. Yesterday, I cried quite a bit because I was feeling sad. Today, I decided to suck it up and am doing stuff that makes me happy. Now, if it takes you longer than a day to make yourself happy, don't feel bad about that. That's okay. That is 100% okay. It can take you a week or a month, but you eventually have to start pulling yourself out of that. You cannot stay in that forever. Happiness is the greatest thing ever, and you have to feel it. You have to feel it so hard, because I promise you, once you're happy and once you're elated and once you get that feeling of just joy, it is the greatest thing ever. It is so great. And I'm gonna cry making this video because I'm at a really good place in my life right now. And guys, there was a point in time when I never thought I would be this happy. Ever. Never thought I would be this happy. I have great people in my life. I'm going to school for something that I am so passionate about. My job is a little iffy, but even that, we all have bad things that have happened to us, and we all have bad things that we do on a daily basis. Not bad things, but things that we don't like doing. But you can't let that get you down. And most of the time, I'm notorious for letting my job get me down because it's rough, it's difficult, it's so hard. It is so hard some days. But you know what? I have to, at the end of the day, I suck it up. And I just really need this talk for myself, mainly. But for everybody else out there, too. It's okay. So what did we learn today? Feel what you feel when you feel it. Be the best you that you can be. Be happy. You follow those 3 things, and I promise you, your life's going to be pretty good. Now, in saying that, you're going to be like, well, I don't know how to make myself happy. Nothing makes me happy anymore. I'm sure there's something. When I was younger, I would legitimately walk up and down my street listening to music. And that made me so happy. So happy. If I was sad about something, I would just go on a walk. And I would feel what I was feeling on that walk. But the music would lift my spirits, and the music would make me happy. And it made me so happy. Now, stuff like this makes me happy. I don't walk as much as I used to, but stuff like this is making me happy. And you know what? Go for it. If collecting Pokemon cards makes you happy, who am I or anyone else to judge you for that? Okay? This world is full of people who are going to tear you down, and who are going to try to tear you down, and who are going to probably succeed at tearing you down, because we're human and we feel. But what you have to remember at the end of the day is that when those people tear you down, and when those people get to you, because you can be the strongest person in the world and say, oh, nobody gets to me, somebody's going to eventually get to you. You can only be strong for so long. Feel that feeling. Get through it. Be upset that they said that to you. Be angry that they said that to you. Be sad that they said that to you or about you. And move on. Because at the end of the day, they don't matter. Now, it's a little more difficult to get over if it's a close friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or your parents. And at that point, you need to reevaluate things. Well, with your parents, you can't really get rid of them because they're your parents. That you need to sit down and talk to them or remove yourself from that situation. That's a whole different thing. But if it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, good friend, maybe you shouldn't have them in your life. If they are being legitimately mean to you. Now, we all have our days. We all have months sometimes. And sometimes we just need to take a step back from somebody and evaluate ourselves and let them evaluate themselves. And then once that happens, then we can get back to being the friends that we were, or to being in the relationship that you were. But really, if your relationship, if you guys don't, you're gonna butt heads, but if you don't get along and can coincide, is that the right word? can be together and can be loving towards each other 9 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, depending on who you are, then you both need to evaluate what makes you happy. You need to evaluate if that person that is not making you happy during your time apart, do you miss them? Is it hard for you not to talk to them on a daily basis? Are you lost without them? And you need to think about that. And you need to think about that longer than a week. Or longer than a day. And you just need to really just evaluate yourself and let them evaluate themselves. And the ultimate goal is that you'll both come back together as these two happy individuals who can create a happy life together. Even if that's just a friendship. Guys, I have lost... Sorry, my throat was getting dry. I have lost in the past some really toxic people. And at the time, I didn't think they were toxic. And at the time, it really hurt my heart. It hurt my heart so much. Thinking that they weren't going to be in my life anymore. But each person that you meet is a stepping stone. They're brought into your life for one reason or another. Either to teach you a lesson, to be there for you, to leave you, to show you how to feel something. Everybody is brought into your life for a reason. To fall in love with. Guys, think about that. If you're not... Okay, I can't do this anymore right now. I'll finish that in a second. But think about this. Think about it. If you don't have a relationship right now, you're going to be like, this doesn't apply to me. And that's fine. But think about it. Somewhere out there in the world, even if you're not in a relationship, somewhere out there in the world is someone who's waiting to fall in love with you. Your universes are going to collide. And you're going to be the best couple that you can be. Because you're both going to be happy as individuals. That's the important thing, is that you're both happy by yourselves first. And then once you come together and become happy together, that's an even better feeling. Now, we can be happy, and then we can have all these other people that come in and bounce off of us. Friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, and just are bouncing off of us, bouncing off of us, bouncing off of us, bouncing off of us. And we get so upset, and we get and little pieces of us are slowly but surely taken away. But we have to then think about, are they important? Are they a truly significant member of my life? And if you say yeah, and you still have to leave them, that sucks. But let them go. Because if it was just a lapse in judgment and a lapse in time, they'll come back. And they'll apologize, and they'll be sorry, and everything will be okay. But 9 times out of 10, once you let those people go, they're gone. Because they don't want to be in your life. One day, after people have been bouncing off of, and you've been bouncing off, but you've just been butting heads and losing everybody, you're going to eventually come together with that one person. Sticks to you like glue. It's amazing, isn't it? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to think about. One day, you're going to fall in love. And one day, somebody is going to be so in love with you. And you're going to get married and you're going to have kids together. And then once you've had kids together, you can sit down and tell them about how much love you have for each other. How cool is that? How stinking cool is that? That is so cool to think about to me. Now, this has been almost a 25-minute video, and I'm not done talking. So, I'm going to leave this one here and make another one probably tomorrow or maybe later tonight. But let's recap what we talked about. Feel what you're feeling when you feel it. Be the best you that you can be. And focus on making yourself happy. I love you guys so, so, so much. Everybody who's watching this, I love you, and you're beautiful. Even if you're a guy, you're beautiful. And I love you, and I care about you, and you're an amazing person, and you have a purpose on this earth. I love you. Bye, guys.